Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve an ordinance adjusting utility rates services effective July 1, 2023.
Second by Councilman Mayo. Discussion of the motion. Councilman Vogler.
Yeah, Jason, I guess you'd be the one to. So, partly for me, but more so for those who are watching at home or maybe in the audience, can give folks a breakdown of what this is going to mean for an individual's utility bill.
So the two utilities that we're seeking approval for rate adjustments are water. Water, the average residential customer would see an increase of approximately $1.25 per month. On electric, it's based on consumption, so the higher consumers will actually see a decrease, and the lower consumers' electricity will see a small increase. But overall, in electric, it's a 0% effect. It's just allocating costs where they're appropriate.
And the reasoning behind this, I know those who are in the Utility Commission, they've gotten this full presentation. So the abridged version, I guess, is what is the reasoning behind the proposed increase?
So every 2 years, we do a rate study. We do a biennial rate study to make sure we're allocating cost appropriately, charging our cost to provide service for that particular customer class. So other utilities do it every 3 years or more, but it's our goal to accurately charge our customers based on our cost to provide service.
I know about 8 years or so ago, utilities was running a pretty substantial deficit. Where are we at now in that? I know at one point in time we were pretty deep in the hole. Are we out of that now? Where do we sit with that?
We're back in line with our policies. So yes, sir, we've recovered from that power cost adjustment deficit, I think is what you're referring to.
Yes, sir.
And we're back within our policies.
And again, I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to vote on this. It's just, I understand from the utilities alone perspective of probably why this is being put forward. I also know that our utilities in general are on the rather high side compared to some other places, and there's various reasons for that. I understand real estate taxes and how we use the utilities because we have a municipally owned utility. I understand all that. I also know that we're coming into a large amount of revenue as a city, and while this isn't a tax increase, it's a rate increase, and it's getting really hard for me to look somebody in the face and tell them, you know, hey, we're going to have to, even as small as this one is, at the same time, we're telling folks we got all these great things coming and we got all this money coming in, but then we're going to ask them to pay a little bit more. I'm just having a hard time wrestling with that one. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Madam Clerk, thank you.
Yeah, I got a question. So last time I spoke, it was about $500 million in debt. If we cleaned that up?
That's associated with our power generation costs. That's built into our power supply costs. So that's ongoing, and it's built into our power supply.
Cleaned up the BAB bonds that were $173 million on top
I would
of
look
that.
at that as our mortgage for our power generation assets, kind of like your mortgage for your house.
I got you. So what we keep, I just saw in the budget where it's another $135,000 in interest that we're going to pay on what we just bonded up for $7 million, right?
Correct.
And we continue to bond up the electrical company. I know y'all pushed back in $15 million. I still, I got to struggle with that.
Supply chain issues, the cost of borrowing money has increased, cost of materials have increased. We have to pass it along through rates. That's the only method we have of recouping that cost. Our salaries are going up as far as our market cost, so that our salaries come through our utility rates.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, we would call the roll.